Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Robin and I have a October reading wrap up for you all. This is coming kind of late in November because your girl has been busy. I have been going through a lot with family and different things and health things, and I've been gaming like crazy lately, so I just haven't been picking up the camera to film this reading wrap up, but I am here now. So we have October's reading wrap up. I read 2 books in the month of October. This October was probably one of my worst reading months of the year. I only read 2 books and it was not by choice. It was just like, that's what happened. So yeah, I only read 2 books and I'm a little sad about it. I kind of wish I would have read more, but yeah, that's just life sometimes, I guess. Anyway, we're going to start off with Insatiable by Leigh Rivers. This is the first book in the Edge of Darkness trilogy. This is a dark romance. So please, please, please check your trigger warnings because there is some pretty dark topics that are spoken about in here and they could be uncomfortable to some. So please check your trigger warnings. I rated Insatiable by Leigh Rivers a 4 stars. I did like this book, but it wasn't, I don't know, I guess I thought in my mind though that I would get more from it. And I will say, the first half of this book, maybe the first 40 to 50% of this book, I was seriously thinking it was going to be a 5 star. But by the time I kind of got closer to the end, some of the things seemed a little bit repetitive, or the story just kind of got stuck in a spot. I think the pacing was weird. It was a good book. The story itself, the plot is good, but sometimes I felt like it was just lacking a little bit, but I still really, really enjoyed it. And I would recommend someone to read it, but I'm going to go ahead and just give y'all the little blurb. It says, if he can't have her, no one else can. Cade Mitchell is obsessed with someone he despises. A snake in an angel's skin, Stacy Rhodes, is everything he can't forget. The girl who shattered his heart and drove him deep into the darkness of the underworld. He watched her for years, killed anyone who came close to her, but now, granted a brief moment of freedom from the life he's trapped in, he's back home and driven to claim her again, breaking every rule he's ever made for himself. Not even his hatred can stop the pull between them, but he'll never forgive her. Will he? So, Cade Mitchell, I do like him. He's a sweetheart. He's very misunderstood. I think my favorite part though about this book is the flashbacks of being in Cade Mitchell's head and him reminiscing the love story of him and Stacy Rhodes. And the things that they went through. It gave me the giggles. It gave me the good feels because of he was struggling with some mental issues because he has a father that is not so well mentally, and he's afraid that he's going to be like him. So he was struggling with that thought and not understanding how feelings work. And the story just kind of goes from there of him learning about his feelings with the main character, and then the story just picks up from there. And they go through a lot of love and trauma and figuring out things. The one thing I will say about Stacy, the female main character, is the patience that she has with him. I do like that, but I'm not gonna lie, Stacy is I don't know, she kind of gives me she's a little bit annoying in some aspects. I'm not really going to get much into that because I don't want to give the story away. But there's a lot of trauma in here, and it's sad, the things that happen. But yeah, Cade Mitchell, he was the main character, the male main character, and I did like him. Like, he really just seems like he's misunderstood, and he feels things deeply, even though he does not understand the feelings. And I think that was something that really spoke to me in this book, and I appreciated that. So yeah, I rated Insatiable by Leigh Rivers a 4-star. In this November, I'm actually reading the second book, and I got a lot to say about that, and I'll say that in my next reading wrap up. But yeah, I did like this book. I do kind of feel that it might be a little bit overhyped. It's not a bad book by any means, but I do think that the pacing in this book is a little bit off here and there. Like, sometimes I felt like I was kind of being jolted in the story a little bit, and not in a good way. Not like jumping in. It was just kind of like, wait, what? How we get there? But overall, the story was good. I would still recommend you to read this if you like dark romance. Next up, we read Gleam by Raven Kennedy. This is I believe, the third book in the Plated Prisoner series. That's what that looks like. So yeah, this is the third book. I can't say too much about this because it's definitely going to give it away. But this is a King Midas retelling. And so we meet, let me see. Let me think of the characters' names. So we have Rip Slade. He's got multiple names. King Rot. And then we also have, what the heck is her name? You see, guys, I'm not that good at this. Like, sometimes, like, I be having stuff in my head, but my little head be going everywhere, and I'm like, wait. What's her name? It starts with the S, I believe. What is her name, y'all? What's her name? Do y'all know? It does not start with an S. Arin, that is her name. Which I don't know why I forgot her name, because she is honestly a female main character that I actually enjoy okay. Like, she has her moments where you're like, girl, do I need to smack you? But overall, there's so much growth in Arin. It's so beautiful. I gave this a 5-star. Like, look how chunky this book is. But this is book 3 in the Plated Prisoner series. And oh my gosh, I loved this book. It was really, really good. I was feeling so many feelings. I was angry. I was upset. I wanted to like cry. I wanted to hit someone. And then I was all giggling and kicking my feet. Like, I was feeling everything in this story because Slade, King Rot, however you want to call him, because he's got multiple names, and he's a fae, and so is Arin. But there's some things that she's got to figure out. And King Midas has her captive. And he does not treat her well at all. King Midas he's just a butt, okay? We don't like him. And the things that he does to our girl Arin is just uncalled for. And needless to say, in this book, some certain things start to get resolved, and you can see the character growth in Arin, and it's beautiful. And that's really all I'm going to say about that, because I don't want to give it away, because this is the third book, and if I say too much, you're going to know. You're going to know. You're just going to know. So yeah, I love this book. I gave it 5 stars. I would recommend this series. So far, I have all 6 books. It is a 6-book series. So obviously I read the first book and the second book. And I will say the first book it's a little rough. It's not bad. It's a good book, but not a lot happens in it. And I know a lot of people are like, well, if the first book ain't given, then I'm not going to the next. I feel like it is definitely a starter book. Like, these two books could have probably been one, and it probably would have made it a little bit better. But either way, I still would say this book was still good. I gave it a 4-star, and I think I gave this one a 4.5. So it definitely gets better. So it's like 4, 4.5, and then I gave this one a 5. And I will say, it definitely gets better as it goes on. It definitely gets better. That you see so much character development in those particular books. You feel like you're growing with the character. And I love that. Like, you get to see them coming into themselves, finding who they are. And it's a beautiful story, especially from a woman's point of view. And the woman herself is really coming into her own. And I have not seen a book do that super well, especially stretched out into a series. And yeah, you know, she does make some mistakes. Yeah, she has kind of a little naive like thought, but then you start to see her coming into herself, getting her confidence, figuring out who she is, and that is what makes that story extremely beautiful. So I would definitely recommend the Plated Prisoner series by Raven Kennedy. It is a really good like fantasy romantasy, because it is a romance. But it is very fantasy driven. So I do like that, because it's like, it's not too focused on the romance, but you definitely see the tension. You see all the things. And I will say, and this might be a slight spoiler, so I'm sorry if it is, but I'm going to say it. I like the fact that nothing happened between the two people that you want something to happen with until at least the third book. So I was really excited about that. And it wasn't like too much. It was just enough to be like, oh, okay, they're there now. But I liked it. It was not overly done, because I will say, like, when I was reading Insatiable, excuse me, and don't get me wrong, I am not a girl that's like, I don't like spice in my books. I'm not like that. I don't mind reading spice. I don't mind reading smut. As long as there is a plot, I can pretty much read it. But sometimes some books overdo it, and I did kind of feel with Insatiable that the spice or the smut was done a little too much, or not explained very, I don't know, like, not over explained, but it was just, at some scenes there was like a lot going on, and I'm like trying to keep up. I'm like, wait, what? Like, what is we doing? Like, we're doing a little too much in that scene. But it was good as well. So yeah, so that is my reading wrap up for the month of October. So I read, like I said, I read Insatiable. I gave this book 4 stars. And I read Gleam, and I gave this book 5 stars. So yeah, these were the only 2 books I read in the month of October. I'm hoping that in November I can read a lot more. I have so many books that are coming in November, because there are some books that are being released this month. So hopefully I can read a lot more books. So yeah, that is going to conclude this video. I hope that you liked it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!